Hey everyone, how's it going? So we're back with some more Explorer and Pioneer content, and today we are playing some Bant Control. So this deck is essentially kind of smashing together three different strategies in the format, which, as we all know, always works out for the best. So the kind of more traditional Azorius Control, running cards like No More Lies, Teferi, the Wandering Emperor, all of those kind of things. We're also combining it with some of the Bounce deck, with cards like Storm Chaser's Talent and This Town Ain't Big Enough, just to kind of get that value from returning things to our hand, getting the kind of incremental value off cards like Talent. And then we're also running a kind of up the Beanstalk shell with a lot of expensive spells, which trigger the Beanstalk. So one of the reasons for this is in Standard at the moment, it's quite popular to combine Beanstalk with Ride's End, which is essentially a 2-mana removal spell for any creature or vehicle, as long as it's targeting a tapped permanent. Well, most things are tapped at some point. But because it technically still costs 5 mana, then it triggers up the Beanstalk. Obviously, we have other cards which do the same thing. Sunfall is a mass removal spell. This Town Ain't Big Enough, again, often cast for cheaper. Teferi, Dig Through Time, and depending on how we cast them, March of Otherworldly Light and 3 Steps Ahead as well. So there's lots of ways, different ways of triggering the Beanstalk in this control deck. So we are also running that. Not surprisingly, given how many different things we're trying to do here, it is a Yorion deck, so it has 80 cards in the main deck. So I will just run through those now. So obviously we have the Storm Chaser's Talent, but we have some additional removal with March of Otherworldly Light, Portable Hole, Get Lost, here a couple of copies of each of those. They're pretty good at keeping the opponent under control in the early game. Omen of the Sea, good card selection and card draw, which is particularly useful when combined with Yorion, which can blink it, or bounce spells, which can put it back to your hand. Obviously, Up the Beanstalk could also be bounced and get more card advantage, as well as triggering off our more expensive spells, some counter spells with No More Lies. And Dovin's Veto, then 3 Steps Ahead. Most often is a counter spell, but can be cast for much bigger mana costs, potentially up to 8. And if we're costing it for 5 or more, obviously, then that does trigger Beanstalk. Supreme Verdict, our other mass removal spell, along with Sunfall. 3 copies of the Wandering Emperor and 2 Teferis. Those are our Planeswalker package. So these most often than not will be what close out the game for us and what eventually allow us to turn the corner and win. Then, as I mentioned earlier, we've got our expensive spells with Ride's End, Sunfall, This Town Ain't Big Enough, and we are running 2 copies of Dig Through Time as well. Often kind of gets cut from control decks for Memory Deluge, but I specifically want to be able to trigger the Beanstalk from hand when I cast this. And it often, given how many other spells we've got kind of flying around, often by the time we cast this, we will be able to cast it for blue, and then select 2 from the top 7 of our library, which is pretty tasty. So then we have our horrendously complicated mana base, which I'm glad I didn't have to design myself. Obviously, high number of dual lands. We are running 4 copies of Spara's Headquarters, just because you'll see there's a lot of Verges in this deck, and we do reliably need them to be able to tap for both colours of mana. Obviously, so for example, Willow Rush Verge, it is more important that it taps for blue. Blue is a much more important colour in the deck, but we do want reliably to be able to hit green as well. Similarly with Hushwood Verge, green by itself is kind of just okay. We do want to be able to hit white as well, and Flood Farm Verge similarly with white and blue. So we do have Spara's Headquarters, Breeding Pool, Hollowed Fountain, Meticulous Archive, all of which can turn any of our Verges into the 2 colour lands that we need. A few other lands as well, Seachrome Coast, Deserted Beach, just those additional white-blue lands to make sure we are have the colours we need. A couple of basic lands as well to respond to things like Field of Ruin. A couple of additional finishers in our lands with Hall of Storm Giants and Castle Ardenvale. These cards can win the game if the game is prolonging and we don't have any of our other win conditions. And then Iganjo and Otawara as well. In the sideboard, obviously, one of the slots is taken up with Yorion. We got Rest in Peace. It does make our dig through time worse. So we do have to be aware that this is a bit of a nombo, and we might need to kind of change the way we play depending on how whether we're using these cards at the same time, which we're most often not going to be doing. Mystical Dispute, good additional counter magic against blue decks. Narset, shutting down the opponent's card draw. Night of Autumn turns off. Well, it doesn't turn off, but it destroys artifacts or enchantments, gains us a bit of life. Just a good all-round versatile card to bring in. Similarly with Beza, very good anti-aggro technology. If the opponent's hitting our life total with lots of creatures, we get the 4/5, we get the life, we get the fish, and just a very good way of stabilizing. And then one copy of Starnheim Unleashed. More often than not, we'll be foretelling this as a big mana cost casting version of it. Not only creates more angels, great finisher by itself, also triggers up the Beanstalk. You'll be hearing that a lot about how cards trigger up the Beanstalk. So yeah, that is the deck. Bant Control. I'm interested in this one. Just saw the deck list floating around. I think it's a relatively recent one that's kind of burst onto the scene. So interested to see how it does. So yeah, let's try this out. Thank you very much for watching. As ever, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate the support. And let's go on to the ladder. Yeah. This is looking a bit more like a traditional control deck, but that's fine. We'll keep No More Lies. It'll give us some turn 2 counter magic. Okay. Well, I'm a patient man. This is probably Phoenix. Yeah, we can counter that. Okay, they have a spell pierce of their own, fair enough. Do I want to march the artist talent is the question. I think I probably do. In which case, should I do it now, or... Yeah. Let's get rid of it. Get rid of their discard outlet. Ooh, I could really do with a 4th land here. This has been slightly awkward, just drawing no other lands. Sure. Might have to use 3 steps ahead as a draw spell here, which I don't feel amazing about. Right, we'll ditch Duplicate Teferi. Four cards in graveyard. Okay, so we're building up to a dig through time. Yep. Another Phoenix. Well, that's sad. This is probably Treasure Cruise incoming. Yep. So we'll let that resolve. Well, we got the Emperor here at least. Oh, there's two Phoenixes in the graveyard. I hadn't spotted that other one. I'll exile one Phoenix. And we'll go to 8.
I am almost sad to see you go.
Don't think we're getting out of this one. We just stumbled over mana for too long. Okay. Let's burn the Emperor.
May your blade strike true.
Put the Picklock Prankster in a portable hole. 5 cards in graveyard. I think we're gonna have to shock here. Okay. Fire off a Get Lost on one of their Phoenixes. Go to 3. Then I think dig through time end of turn, just to see if we can find anything that can keep us alive. Ride's End is good, and so is this town ain't big enough. So we are going to need both of these. Am I going to shock and go to 1 so I also have access to No More Lies? That seems bordering on tragic. But I think it's what I gotta do. Okay. So, let's start. Exile 1 Phoenix. Pick up our portable hole. Puts their Prankster back, but it's not attacking. I think if we'd drawn our 4th land 1 turn earlier, we wouldn't be in this mess. Well, No More Lies, their Temporal Trespass. Now, so I can hold that. I'm still on 1. Storm Chaser's Talent doesn't do it for us. So I think I'm going to have to get rid of that. Play Teferi. No, that won't do it. Well, we were fighting against borrowed time there. So, Mystical Dispute is good. Narset is obviously great. Rest in Peace we want here. And we'll trade out the Dig Through Times for that. Supreme Verdict I'm not so fussed about as it's not exile-based removal. And 3 steps ahead is too slow as well. Actually, let's just get rid of Get Lost and keep it 2-3 steps ahead. Yeah, right. It's very different to our first hand, but I'm all about difference. And Ride's End is eventually a pretty decent answer to a Phoenix. No, I need land. Not making that mistake again. Fine, so they've got a Picklock prankster thing going on here, which I am tempted to Dovin's Veto. Yeah, I think I will. Just slow them down quite a lot. Well, this is going to be a treasure cruise at least. Just opt. Just opt is fine. Ooh, up the Beanstalk, nice. Right, well, we'll play that. Trigger Prowess. Okay, that was a bit more like it. So, on the draw, how do I feel about Starnheim Unleashed? Yeah, we'll put that in. Take out the 3 steps ahead. And go from there, I think. Yeah, this will do fine. It's got Beanstalks. An endless array of Beanstalks. Interesting. Interesting is the word, alright. That's the turn. I think, I might get Narset to just sit on the battlefield. Don't feel the need to tick it down, to be honest. Just shutting down all of their draw spells.
Contain your rage.
Apart from sleight of hand, but that's fine. I'll fire off up the Beanstalk. I think Storm Chaser's talent can come down. Follow it up with another land. Still no need to activate Narset, I don't think. I've got plenty of material. So they could hard cast a Phoenix, I suppose. Yeah.
This is overwhelming.
Not quite the right land. I'll get another Beanstalk down. Okay, rest in peace. Do I just want to cast that before they can cruise? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, keep an eye Ganjo, cast rest in peace. Sure thing. Okay, they're going hard here. So start with a Ride's End. I'll get 2 Beanstalk triggers. Ooh, Starnheim Unleashed. Now that is something I am interested in. So I'll stick the Picklock Prankster in a portable hole. Foretell Starnheim Unleashed. Attack the opponent down to 14. So I could potentially Starnheim for 3 next turn, depending on what they do. Or I can just get Narset into play. I kind of want an answer for that Phoenix as well. Now, am I going to risk Starnheiming for 3? Play around Spell Pierce. I don't think I need to. Let's just play Narset, see what happens. Yeah, I'll take this town ain't big enough. Then let's shock in this land. Attack them down to 12. And I have both this town and Iganjo available against what they're doing. Into the Floodmoor. Okay. I'll have a fish. A tasty, tasty fish. I really just want them to tap out, to be honest. Let's send that back, pick up my Storm Chaser's talent. Very good. No, that was good fun. Yeah, again, this is a pretty decent hand. See what shenanigans the opponent has for us. Okay, they're on a aggro deck. So we've got options here. Many options. Many options were had. Whenever this... okay. So I think I am going to Ride's End this Emberheart Challenger. And say go to the opponent. Ooh, 1 damage. I can live with that. On fire hero, sure thing. Get Omen down. No to either of those. Okay, just draw another one. I think with this town ain't big enough, we're kind of protected for a turn. Yep. So we're going to target the Heartfire hero, which is fine. Set it back to their hand. Take another one. Would kind of like a mass removal spell here. Yeah, I'll keep both of those. And we'll accept that we'll take the 1. They're kind of 2 for 1ing themselves here, which is fine by me. Sure. Yep, take the additional 2. Do I want to get lost that as well? I think we can wait. Another Manifold Mouse. Sure thing. No, they don't want it. Yeah, I think I'll keep both of those again.
Right on schedule.
Teferi, draw some cards.
Keep up the pace.
Ooh, March. March I like. trample. Okay, that alone, they will be able to kill Teferi, but that is a lot of damage that did not go anywhere near my face, which is kind of the main thing. Okay, well, they've taken a lot of lands off the top of their library. Yeah, I think I'll do this at sorcery speed while they don't have a huge amount of interaction available to them. Yep. And I will put Yorion in my hand. Base bar as headquarters. And they're kind of at their mercy for a turn. Yep, Screaming Nemesis is pretty good. Okay, Ride's End is a good answer to Screaming Nemesis. So, Yorion. Blink, blink, blink. I think, again, let's use this while they're not got a huge amount else going on. I think both of those could go. Emperor, great. Verdict. Verdict less so, I think, now. Okay, they have seen enough. And so have I. So... Knight of Autumn, Baser, good against aggro. What am I less fussed about? Da-da-da-da-dum. Get Lost, I didn't love giving them all those map tokens. Dig Through Time, too slow on the draw. Probably the same with Dovin's Veto as well. Although it is slightly better than 3 steps ahead. Fine. Ball patch. Ball patch. Sure. So get Storm Chaser's talent down. It's pretty good. Base is going to come in handy. So we'll get the old Beanstalk online. So actually, this I'm gonna have to meticulous archive, I think, here. Yeah, I'll keep Teferi. I'll keep this back for blocking. And a Manifold Mouse. Okay, they might have a bit too much here for us to overcome. Suspect we'll give it Trample. Yep. Okay, no blocks. Yeah, I mean, those are both quite good. I fear it's not quite going to be enough. But let's get Beza down. Create some fish tokens. Say go. And a Screaming Nemesis as well. There. Okay. So I think we need more early interaction. So I am going to put Get Lost back in. Take out Supreme Verdict. Is taking out Supreme Verdict mad? Don't think so. We want as much exile-based removal as possible, really. Sunfall, no way to cast it. Yeah, this will have to do. Sounds a little on the unfortunate side. Not 1 damage I could live with. Yeah, I'll keep No More Lies. Another Soulscar Mage. Sure thing. Ugh. Spare me from just endless land. I will march one of their Soulscar Mages here. Go again, why not? What have they got in their hand? God knows. Okay, Ottawara will bounce the Omen. Okay, well, that was good. Okay, Emperor, fine, good. That's pretty good. Just hope it's not too late. What was that all about? Okay. No, I don't think so. I've got the Emperor ready. Yep, that's going to be a necessary answer to Screaming Nemesis. block here. Okay. I'll play the Wandering Emperor.
Anyone who harms my people must
Exile the Screaming Nemesis.
my judgment is final.
March their Heartfire hero. Just take 2. No, okay, take a bit more than 2. Ride's End is good. So I'll fire that off now. I'll upgrade my Yorion.
Remember your training.
Start getting a bit frisky with them, I think. Screaming Nemesis can go under a No More Lies. Monastery Swiftspear can go under a No More Lies. Okay, well, they've got a vast array of creatures. So we'll fire up this.
Let your blade do the talking.
Storm Chaser's talent. Excellent. Okay, time for one more round. So at the moment this gives us white and blue, but no way of turning on the other bit of the lands. I think that's fine as we're on the play and we've got a couple of No More Lies. Opponent also running Yorion. Theirs is a fancier Yorion though. Okay, so we got access to most of what we need. Jetmir's Garden. Yeah, let's counter Sylvan Caryatid. So this is probably the Bring to Light deck. Yeah, we can counter Beanstalk as well. Sadly, they're not yet missing land drops. Ancient Cornucopia. Yeah, they can have that. I think that's fine. Omen of the Sea. Slightly awkward that we don't have a 5th land. So I can either counter Bring to Light or I can counter the thing they go and get with Bring to Light, which I think is better because it just uses 2 cards. And the life doesn't really matter that much. Three cards in graveyard, so we're getting there for our dig through time. Another Niv Mizzet. Okay, well, let's fire off an Omen, see if we can find a counter spell. Dovin's Veto won't do it, unfortunately. Yeah, you can have Niv Mizzet. Ugh, 4 cards. Not looking too good at this point. Four cards in graveyard. Yeah, let's scoop this one up. They've got another Bring to Light. So, I definitely want Mystical Dispute. Beyond that, I actually think what we've got going on here is pretty good against them. I will put in Starnheim Unleashed. Then... gonna cut, I think, so three cuts to make. Trim 1 3 steps. Get Lost is a reasonable answer to things like Beanstalk, so is Portable Hole Marches as well. Dovin's Veto is probably just okay. Maybe Verdict. Yeah, let's get rid of Verdict. Yep. Turn 1 Storm Chaser's talent, not to be sniffed at. So I think I'm fine to just cast Beanstalk. Never don't have it, do they? I can probably get an attack in for free here. Now, pass the turn. Don't think we need that cluttering up our lives. That's an aggressive leyline binding. I'm kind of okay with that. Yes, let's... I should have done that pre-combat. Because I need another land. But not either of those. I think I'll have to keep the Meticulous Archive. I can't say no to a kind of telegraphing that I don't have a counterspell here. But I don't.
Every pebble is a soldier in my army.
Interesting. Well, I think we can get rid of that before they use it to start filtering cards. Just really need them to play one more thing and then Sunfall is worth it. No, Cornucopia, not really enough by itself. I don't like that. Let's put the Cornucopia back, pick up a talent, draw a card. Play another one. Now we'll stick Yorion in hand. Get ready to do some blink action. I wonder what they'll pick. This town ain't big enough. Sure thing. It's not that big a deal. I don't think I've only got the one more copy. Right, well they're tapped out. Okay, well, I think we've got a fairly obvious move here. Draw. Blink, 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 blink. No, don't need either of those. Bring to light. What are they going to get with that? Niv Mizzet. Okie dokie. Could be worse. The additional Bring to Light is quite annoying. The Mystical Dispute will come in handy. Yeah, I think I'm fine to just chill and say go. Hmm. I shall dispute that. Grab no more lives. Shame these aren't attacking this turn, to be honest. Ooh, March of Otherworldly Light. So I could use that. Probably ditching this portable hole. So we want it for 5. And get them down to 7. Play another land. Pass the turn. Okay, they are pillaging their bog. What can they... I'll put a stop on the upkeep just in case I need to scry with Omen, which is possible, depending on what they do. On math, okay. Oh, that's going to have to die. And a Dovin's Veto, sure thing. That adds some more mana. What are they going to do with that, I wonder? Just put Yorion in their hand. It's fine. Yep, we'll draw as normal. Get Castle Ardenvale into play, then I think I'm going to have to get rid of this. Another Beanstalk's pretty good. I should have lethal now. Yep, almost exactly. And David's Veto just gives us the extra resilience we need. Marvellous. Okay, on to game 3. This is a hell of a challenging one. We'll pop in a couple of Gnar sets. Take out the other 3 steps. That's a no from me. This is Not a huge amount better, but don't think we've got any other choice but to keep it. Beanstalk. Beanstalk. Yes, sir. This is all a very unfortunate set of draws. So let's get rid of that. I don't want it. That's fine. That's a veto they're not using on anything else. Well, I would like to draw something that isn't just nothing. Yep. Nope, nothing is the order of the day. Nothing even remotely threatening we've got going on here. Yep, there's nothing I can do about that. Gaining all of the life in the world, that itself isn't so much of a problem. I shall ride's end this away. Okay. Sunfall isn't the worst. Potentially gives us some game, I think, next turn. Let them play out Yorion. If they choose not to, I'll just do something else. I am going to counter this. See if they can be baited into playing their Yorion as well. No? Okay. How much am I fussed to Sunfall now instead then? I think I probably should, because I know they don't have anything else. Yep. So they will get the additional Beanstalk value off playing Yorion. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. Another land. Turn my incubator into a creature. Storm Chaser's talent's not the worst. Gives us something to blink with Yorion at least. Play a land. We potentially got, say, we can bring back a Ride's End or something like that using the upgraded Storm Chaser's talent. Okay, that's fine. Nice. So I think we're pretty dead here. Actually. So we're not going to get any value out of Yorion, but I still think it's worth casting. Oh, they've got 4 cards in hand and we've got none. So, I'm not hopeful. No, okay. Well, never mind. Yeah, we drew really badly that game. I think we did a decent job of fighting them off for as long as possible there, but just a terrible, terrible draw. But that is the risk when you run 80 card decks. Not that they had any problem with consistency with their 80 card deck, but yeah, no, this was good. Decent version of Control, kind of doing all of the things. Up the Beanstalk, great card as ever. Some of the interactions with stuff like Ride's End makes for very, very powerful stuff. If you don't have that, it feels a bit bad, but Ride's End is still kind of reasonable by itself. Yeah, there's some decent stuff going on here. Yeah, so a bit of a longer one, as often happens when you're playing Control, but thank you very much for watching. As ever, like and subscribe, more content to come, and I'll see you next time.